It's the Ed Will Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Kevin Fitzpatrick with Opus IVS, a remote auto repair facilitator. Later, a look at the automotive news headlines this week. We got lots of them. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us while we wait for Kevin Fitzpatrick to join us. We just had a slight discussion about washing your hands at an automotive facility. Now, Conrad swears up and down by automatic transmission fluid. Clean, I would assume.
Yeah. Brand new automatic
and
transmission
so you
fluid.
wash it up just like you would with soap.
And took that smell, because I did all diesel and differential work, and it would literally take that aroma out of your hands. That's what I liked about it, is because I hated,
What is that nice fragrance? Why? That's ATF.
Well, after you wash your hands, did you feel shiftless?
Yeah.
I worked at a facility one time in my life years ago that had a round wash basin.
Oh, they all
did,
call
it that.
Oh, yeah.
A great big huge thing, and it had a foot
starter.
Yeah. Right. And so you'd press your foot down on it, and then this big sprinkler thing in this round deal would come down.
Get your pants wet.
Get your pants wet, make it look like you peed your pants. But
is that what you told people, Don?
That's what he tells people.
That's what I lied and told them that. But at any rate, and then we had some sort of soap, liquid soap. But it wasn't like, it was like lava, but in a liquid form. And oh my God, my hands,
it was
gritty, and my hands were all calloused up.
Yeah, the way it cleaned was by removing 4 layers of skin.
Yeah, exactly. The good old days.
Yes.
We know that you didn't have that, did you, Mr. Mars? You never used anything like that, did you?
Never got dirty. Used gasoline.
Gasoline. No, there you go. That's great.
As a lineman.
It cut everything,
It did. Yes, it did. Set your hands on fire and everything.
Yeah, but just be careful. Don't scratch while you're
washing.
Washing, yes.
Yeah. Did you ever do any of that?
I never got dirty.
Crawfish.
No.
You didn't?
Exactly.
Well, the soap,
three
you
times.
talked about the soap, the gritty soap, and the
Round wash basin?
Yeah, everybody did that.
Yeah. Okay. Kevin Fitzpatrick is the vice president of operations for a company called Opus IVS. And I'm not going to try to explain it. We'll just let him do it, because I gained some knowledge in our last application of Zoom calls.
Okay.
In other words, let the guest handle it.
Exactly. Kevin Fitzpatrick, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Well, we're very well. Thank you very much. It's hot down here in Texas. Where are you?
I'm back here in New York. I was in Dallas just day before yesterday, as a matter of fact, and it was quite hot there, I will say.
Where in New York are you?
I'm in Long Island right now. I'm in West Babylon. I'm in actually one of my shops where I have an office. So it's a little bit warm here as well.
Kevin, tell us what Opus IVS is and what they do.
So Opus IVS, we provide services, tools and services to the collision and the mechanical space. So we're really big in remoting right now. So we do pre and post scanning, vehicle programming, and technical support. So we're really good at remoting expertise into the shop.
Who is your clients?
Our clients are collision shops, general repair shops, and in some cases, like for instance, resellers of vehicles around the country.
Interesting.
So you offer technical support to these facilities?
That's correct. Like for instance, in a collision shop, before a vehicle is returned to the owner, we'll perform a scan on the vehicle to make sure that all of the systems that were there pre-collision are all and working properly, so that when the customer gets the car back, again, it is in a pre-collision state. Everything is up and working exactly the way it should from a calibration.
How do you know that though? You take pictures of it, or how does that work?
We actually have a device that plugs into the vehicle.
Into the ALDL connector?
That's correct, and it goes into every one of the systems and makes sure that all of the systems, it actually interfaces and makes sure that all of those systems are up and going. And if a calibration is required, we're able to interface. We can actually work with the technician that's on site, have them place a target in front of the vehicle, and then we'll put the computer into a mode where it's actually able to perform that calibration.
Oh, for all of the lane departure cameras, reverse cameras, and stuff. Yeah, because
correct.
that's quite a thing right now with getting windshields replaced. You've got to get everything, all the cameras recalibrated, and you'd be surprised. There's 4 and 5 cameras on some cars that have to get recalibrated once it's worked on.
Yeah, it's like one of those iPhones that's got all the lenses on it, 5 lenses or something.
Windshield, lane departure, radar. Yeah, I mean, like I said, these vehicles have tons and tons of technology on them. I mean, it's a bit of a challenge for shops today, both collision and mechanical. It's both an issue and an opportunity for these shops.
So you guys are real intelligence, not artificial intelligence. You have live people working on your calls, talking to these shops and helping them work through whatever technical issues they have, or doing the inspection of the car. And when you do this end of job inspection of the vehicle, do you provide some kind of document to the shop that they can present to the customer saying it's been inspected and all things are working?
That's correct. We're actually using factory software. So if it's a General Motors, we're going to use a GM software. BMW software. So we're actually using factory software that we actually remote to the vehicle. So we provide them a factory report so that they can see exactly that we went into every single system and basically verify that every system is operating exactly the way it should. Which is peace of mind both for the shop returning it to their customer and for the vehicle owner. And in the case of a collision shop, the insurance company as well, to make sure, because there's an insurance company between the insured and the collision shop, right?
So you're doing more than just a DTC scan. You're actually doing functionality testing of certain programs, certain systems inside the vehicle.
Correct. Making sure that it is operating, as designed. For instance, we have there's things like seat weight sensors, right? Just to make sure that everything is operating and calibrated.
And having the OEM software is very expensive.
Correct. And again, that's where, like I said, so we're controlling cost for a lot of these shops too. Especially if we can speak for the mechanical side for a second. The complexity of these vehicles is so huge today. If I'm, in the Northeast or anywhere, like meaning if you have a 3 or a 5 bay repair shop, gone are the days where the expectation is, one size fits all. If you have a technician and, if you can fix a GM, you can fix a Ford. If you can fix a Ford, you can fix a BMW. Those days are gone.
Way behind us, yeah.
Yeah, you need a guy who is almost factory trained across a number of these vehicles, because the technology really doesn't transfer. So you need somebody who kind of has a degree of training across a number of or specifically on these vehicles. So
where do you locate your operators, your call center people?
We get them directly from the dealership. So when we hire a technician, and we've got call centers or our technology centers. We have one in Huntington Beach. We have one in Comac, right here in the center of Long Island. We have our largest, which is a 50,000 square foot center, right outside of Ann Arbor, Michigan. Another one down in North Carolina. So we have them all over. We get guys directly from the dealer network. So we hire a guy with a minimum of 7 years factory experience, dealer experience. And then we put these guys, they come to us. We have guys with 20 plus years experience. So we'll give a guy with, their knees are going, from getting down on their knees and setting up these lifts over all these years, and they'll come to us, with all of that experience, and we'll put them on the phone and put them with our customer base, and now their new job is interfacing with customers and helping them fix, our thousands of customers across the U.S.
Yeah, all of the manufacturers, all the OEMs have some kind of what I call a tech line that an OEM dealership can call in to ask for help, be it from GM or Ford or Chrysler or whomever. But you're basically a tech line for the OEMs as well as for the independent operators that are out there. And is your service sold on a per call basis, or do you do it as a subscription?
We have both. We have per call and we have a subscription basis. And, this works out really well for the consumer, because we're helping these shops get it fixed right the first time. There's not a lot of guessing that goes on. There's not a lot of parts replacement that goes on, in a hopes of repairing the vehicle. So we're controlling quite a few costs, for these shops. Remoting the expertise is something that's helped out tremendously. In reality, this is a model that was adopted by the manufacturers a few years ago, almost in parallel with us. What the manufacturers do really is they've got a central hub of information themselves, where they're what we call the ATEC, if we can use that term. These ATECs are now kind of in a central location, and the dealerships are now kind of plugging in and utilizing these guys remotely as well.
So I work at a Goober Lube, and I call into your operation, and let's say I'm working on a Jaguar F-Pace with a DTC code. How do I get routed to the correct operator in your operation? Because I want to talk to the guy who knows something about Jaguar.
Not at Goober Lube, you're not.
Well, again, the only thing we ask is, we like qualified guys. Goober Lube is, again, I'm never going to be the guy that's going to downplay the guy in the service bay, right? So, good techs in service bays, we ask them to plug in our device, which in our case is our Drive Pro. They'll plug our device into the vehicle. It's going to pull a packet of information out, which is now the tech is going to hit a button that says request support. It's going to send information into our call center, which is going to be the VIN number, which includes obviously year, make, model, engine, and a ton of other information. That's going to go into our CRM. It's then going to get routed to one of our Jag master techs, and within a few moments, the tech is going to pull that ticket, and all of that information is going to be pulled up on his screen. He's then going to use factory information, and he's going to pull all of the information on that vehicle. He's going to look it up through our database to see if we've seen this particular issue before.
Right.
Now, the interesting thing with us is, being that we interface with, upwards of 800 to 1,000 customers a day, lots of Jags, lots of Land Rovers, BMWs. In many cases, we've seen this issue before. So we'll then go back to the customer, and we're going to give them one or two test steps, and lo and behold, oftentimes we hit it within minutes.
So that's a thing I was wondering about. So if I have the next new Goober Lube franchise and I want to talk to you, so I've got to make arrangements in advance. I've got to, I guess, set up an account to get that piece of equipment to tie in so you could help me?
Correct. Give us a call. We send you the equipment, and we'll set you up an account. And again, that's kind of how it goes. Now, the cool thing about it is the more times we're interfacing with customers, the better our system, the better our systems and all systems get.
It's all about data, and the more data you get, the more calls you get, and
bigger
the more
library
successes you have, the library grows, which helps the search argument when you're looking for DTC, whatever it is. Yeah.
What is your
I'm sorry?
What is your competition in your space?
There's a number of them, and a couple of them have been growing over the years. And we've got a few legs up over them. Number one, all of our technicians again come from again factory, the factory. There's a couple like Autel for one. They pull guys from the aftermarket to help them. They're not pulling guys from the factory. The interesting thing about Opus is this: like if we program a module, for instance, we do a lot of remote programming. Anything could happen when you're programming a module. One of the things I'll say is this: if you're programming a module, if you have a 3-year-old module and you go to put the latest programming in it, we all have computers. You go to do an update. If you put a new programming in a 4-year-old computer, right? It's like trying to put the latest Windows update in a 4-year-old computer. Sometimes it won't take it. Sometimes it crashes and you wind up buying a new computer, right?
Yeah, we got a couple of those over here.
Yeah. With us, we warranty the module. If a module fails when Opus is programming it, we replace the module. We pay for the module. You know what I mean? So we have a pretty unique offering where, well, most of these other guys do not. If it fails, it's on you.
Kevin, how long has Opus been in business?
We have been in business for a long time, but we weren't called Opus, and we're kind of unique. Our original company was Drew Technologies. Now, Drew Technologies was really the first and the biggest in the J2534 space. I mean, pioneers in vehicle communications. And then they started doing a ton of acquisitions. The first of which was Autologic, really, which was the biggest in the European diagnostic space. Then they bought Auto Ingenuity, which was a really strong, again, another one of these diagnostic companies. Blue Link, which was a really great remoting company, and again, on and on and on. So we just started buying more and more companies to build out our offering. So we're then we became Opus IVS, Intelligent Vehicle Support. So as cars became more intelligent, we kind of jumped on the whole idea of remoting our expertise, just to kind of make sure that, we were in front of this whole thing. So we have Tesla technicians and everything. So we're kind of on the forefront of this whole thing.
Your interface device, is it more of a laptop or more of, I come from the GM world, more like a MIDI module that has internet?
I'm sorry, it's a tablet. It's a tablet PC, and in that tablet PC, it has our signature device from our Drew Tech days was our Cardac. It's got the Cardac technology built directly into it. So
it sounds like one of those tablets that the doctor uses now in the office.
Mm-hmm. Where does he plug that in?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it plugs into all makes and models. We had to come out with a special cable set to work with Tesla. But again, it's our window into your vehicle, our window into your issue.
For your subscribers, then, they have to have a minimum level of internet access for you to be able to remote stuff in, because I know if you're remoting in a program to a PCM and the internet goes down, all hell breaks loose.
That's correct. Like I said, it works wirelessly. You know what I mean? It works extremely well wirelessly. Again, we've been doing this for a long time, and obviously the wireless technology has gotten real good. I'll be honestly, again, I'm a shop owner as well. I've been in this space for 30 years now. If I'm doing a larger programming file, I put a cable into it. You know what I mean? Again, that's just because I'm a little bit older. I only trust the wireless piece so much, but
right.
The wireless stuff. If you've got a strong signal, it works great.
As well as put the vehicle on a flat charge charger, not a cycling charger that's up and down and on and off to give you voltage surges.
Correct. The devices we sell into the collision space, and the way that they work in their workflow, it's actually cellular as well. So those devices, that they're using them up, the front counters, and the way that they use them, and that, like as I said, in their workflow, they're cellular as well. So they're actually 4G.
It's if I understood it right, once I've got my account set up and I've got the equipment here, and I'm the new franchisee for Gooberlube, but I only need your service once a month, maybe when I run into some oddball thing that it's over my head, and I really need that extra help. So I can come to you for help on a one-time basis without necessarily subscribing, right?
And get you logged into Zoom.
Yep, you can utilize our device as a fully functional scan tool. If once a month you have a module you need to program, it's a pay per use. If once every month you have a vehicle that your team can't solve, it's pay per use. Pay us once a month and call us once a month. If you're a really big shop and you guys wind up with you're fixing 500 cars in a month and you need us 10 times, then you go for our unlimited plan. So again, we have a number of
kind of work out the numbers based on the usage.
Kevin, for people that are in the automotive business, how do they get a hold of you? Do you have a website, phone number?
Yep.
What's that all about?
OpusIVS.com. And like I said, just come in and you can fully functional website. Come in, take a look at our different offers, and like I said, we're happy to help anybody. But we're here to help. Like I said, anybody in the space, both collision and mechanical. But the whole idea here is, like I said, the reason we exist is is the whole idea of remoting expertise. You can't, not everybody here is, you'll fix cars faster. You know what I mean? By just kind of getting to the fix quicker. That's all.
That's opusivs.com. Kevin Fitzpatrick, thank you so much for joining us today. Great knowledge. Sounds like a great deal. And we encourage all of the shops around town to get a hold of you.
Great, guys. Thanks for having me. Stay cool.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay.
Cool.
It is cool. I'm going to save Hemmings Old Cars Roundup for later.
Oh, man.
Well, I know that's disappointing for you.
I've put his Opus IVS on our social media.
Yeah.
It's a
Sounds
great
like
idea. You know, there's other programs out there as well, but his sounds pretty good.
It does.
Comes with the hardware and everything.
Yeah. And he sounds like a straightforward kind of guy. All right.
Did he mention the cost of it?
No, I was
Said
kind
it
of where
was
I
a
was
cost,
headed,
but not a dollar amount.
Yeah.
Time now to look at some of the stories making automotive news headlines. We can do recalls or we can go to news. What would you like? This is a vote. What are you doing, Mars? You can't do the vote. You can't do the vote.
Let's
like
do news.
We want to do news?
Sure.
You don't want to do the recalls?
We have time to do recalls later.
Mars?
I think news would be good this year.
News. Okay. All right, we'll do news then.
You didn't ask Jeff.
What do you want lunch?
I want to do lunch.
Well, you brought the donuts.
I know.
Did you eat any?
No.
Okay. Thank you for bringing them, by the way.
All right.
Online used car vehicle retailer Carvana
Your favorite.
Oh, boy.
announced better than expected second quarter results and a new debt restructuring deal.
How many times have we heard that?
Analysts lauded the improved results and the flexibility afforded by the deal. But those same analysts and others noted that the debt relief is temporary and the company still reported a significant, if much narrower, loss. Carvana needs to demonstrate its business model can consistently deliver results, they said.
They spend a lot on TV advertising. That's
Well,
for
there
sure.
you
And
go.
lawyers.
And lawyers and banks. Tesla has started offering consumers 84-month auto loans after Elon Musk said the car maker would have to do something about rising interest rates. Company now includes 7-year loans as an option on its U.S. order pages after previously offering loans as long as 72 months. While extending loan terms can lower car buyers' monthly payments, consumers tend to pay more in interest and face greater risk of owing more than their vehicle is worth, and don't we know that?
Yep.
Yeah, because you got to think in a 60-month loan, you're upside down until about 42, 44 months.
I'm thinking 61.
In Canada, Tesla is offering 96-month loans.
Well, that's
according
because
to
the
its-
Canadian dollar's worthless.
Whatever. Terms call for a $7,500 down payment with an interest rate of 6.83%. Yeesh.
Thanks, Elon. X.
An electric truck previously damaged from a fire behind Nikola Corporation's headquarters in Phoenix reignited Sunday afternoon, according to the company. Nikola said it's suspecting foul play behind the fire last month. The June fire affected multiple trucks but caused no injuries.
So they're blaming it on a bird.
Fires come as the company pivots its business toward hydrogen-powered vehicles. Nikola announced 270 job cuts last month. In
That'll
Europe
go
and
over like
North
the
America.
Hindenburg.
Was that hydrogen?
Yes.
It was hydrogen, wasn't it?
Yes. Oh, the humanity.
KSA Industries. Does that ring a bell with you?
Nope.
No, none of you.
KS what?
KSA.
Is that a radio station? KSA?
KSA
a campground.
Industries. KSA Industries.
KOA. Oh, go ahead, Don.
KSA Industries, the owner of the Tennessee Titans football team, has sold its 3 dealerships, all in Texas. KSA Industries, diversified holding company that owns the NFL's Tennessee Titans, this spring sold its 3 dealerships to two separate transactions and appears to have exited auto retail. KSA Industries is the privately held family business of late founder Bud Adams. Haven't heard that name in a while. The Titans have roots here in Houston, where they were known as the Houston Oilers. And by the way, the Titans are changing their uniforms to the old Houston Oilers uniforms.
Are
Did
they?
you
For
know
that one game. For that one game.
I don't know.
Texas.
Besides the football team, Adams Holdings included a handful of new car dealerships since the 1960s. One of them was Southwest Lincoln Mercury, I believe it was, there at Hillcroft in 59. Adams died in 2013. KSA Industries is selling some assets to raise cash after winning approval in April for a new Nashville stadium to replace Nissan Stadium. It's expected to cost at least $1.9 billion.
Thank you,
Thank you, Bud.
Yeah, thank you, citizens of Tennessee.
And be paid for through a mix of private and public funding. KSA Industries on April 6th sold 2 Lincoln stores. In that transaction, Chris Poulos went from general manager to owner, buying West Point Lincoln and West Point Lincoln of Sugar Land, both in Houston. The dealership names remain. In a second transaction on May 2nd, KSA Industries sold West Point Buick GMC in Houston to dealer Tom Durant, owner of Classic Auto Group. The store was renamed Classic Elite Buick GMC.
Man,
So
you got Durant on 45, and in Tennessee, they got to sell a lot of moonshine to build that stadium.
Well, Durant is they own he's owner partner in the Classic Chevrolet in Sugar Land, Houston.
Right, but he took
Galveston.
over if there was a Ford store on 45.
And then their home base is Grapevine, which is actually, if I remember, that's where Buzz worked. Was at Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine.
Oh, really? Huh. Well, that's interesting.
It's all tied together. And Bud Adams.
Yeah,
I remember when he snuck the Oilers out of town.
The jersey switch is only for that one game when they play the Texans.
Oh, is that all it is? Well, that's disappointing. All right. Well, that's it for this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We've got more here on iHeartRadio right after this quick break. Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.